Hi, comic book fans, and welcome to another suddenlycomics.com video. And it's Monday, so it's the price variance. And the last couple of weeks, we've been doing comic writers, or sometimes they do a bit of drawing as well. But this week, we both decided to pick an artist. So if you want to see my pick was the the first female writer on the main Batman comic. Now, if you don't know who that is, you need to go to Allan's channel and check out who that artist is. But it's on my channel. Allan has picked an artist. He tells me he's had to censor quite a lot of this.
There's a lot of censoring going on.
I think we're going to see some good girl art here.
Lots of good girl.
It's over to Allan.
So the artist that I'm bringing, there's like spec, there's like underground like comics involved. There's like so much involved, like some really hot major keys. There's like everything. So if this was like Comic Tom, I'd be like doing the drum roll thing a lot. I wish I hadn't told you before. You know who it is, but I'll pretend that you don't, and I'll show you this little comic. This is his first artwork. Okay, can you see it?
Oh wow! Oh, I think you showed me that before. Yes.
Yeah. This is so you know who it is. Say it. You can say it. Pretend you guess.
You said it's Bruce Timm.
Bruce Timm. Yep. This is his first artwork on like a comic. So these what these were you know how you got like little action figures?
Yeah.
And they would sometimes include a comic with the action figure. And that's what this is. These are really rare, and it's hard to find them in any like semblance of a good grade. Usually kids kind of like took them out and threw them around and mangled them, right? And didn't keep them. So this is like kind of a rare comic, and it's just kind of cool. But you can pick it up usually pretty cheap, like about, I would say $15-20 range. So not super expensive, but not many people realize what it is. And it's Masters of the Universe, Grizzlor, The Legend Comes Alive. So you can search for that and find it.
So did that come with a figure?
Yes, this would have came with a figure. I think it came with Grizzlor. So
right, I think I might know where to find a copy of that.
Yeah, it's a good. I think it's a cool spec. Like as a thing, if you're really interested in Bruce Timm. I noticed something weird. Like any time there's a Bruce Timm cover, like he does a lot of variant covers, it is crazy expensive. Like usually $100+ for, even if it's just like it could be like a common comic, but if it's Bruce Timm, it just goes up. So I always recommend, if you can pick up his art, like like when it's on the shelf as a variant, that's the best time to buy it. Bruce Timm, like you gave a little history of your artist, so I'll give a little history of mine. Bruce Timm was born in 1961 in Oklahoma. So, and he basically had a lot of problems getting into the art industry. It wasn't until he started doing he wanted to do comics. He wanted to get involved in comics, but he ended up getting involved more into animation.
Right. Yeah.
And he actually did, he did the real Ghostbusters. He did like one season of that. And then he did, the most famous was Batman Adventures. And that was that was his huge breakout kind of thing. And that kind of built his career, really. He actually voiced some of the characters. I think he did the Riddler and a couple of other like kind of weird characters. And there's actually a scene in one of the animated things that he did where he animated himself in the cartoon. so he has like sort of his own little cameo in one of the cartoons, but he did the voice in some of the things. But he did all the artwork. He was the executive editor and not producer, I meant. And he did all of the stuff for Batman Adventures. And if you haven't seen that series, it is quite amazing. I'm going to show you the big key. The character that he kind of developed was, and he developed it with Paul Dini, is Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I know what you're going to show me.
Yeah, so this
Lovely.
is like,
yeah.
So this is a newsstand version, so it's a little bit lower grade. I think if I pressed it, I should have gotten it pressed. I could probably gotten like a 9.0, I think, but they were a little harsh on the grading. So it actually has some pretty deep spine ticks, so maybe that's why. But yeah.
What grade is that?
It's an 8.0.
Okay.
8.0, yeah. It's a newsstand copy, so it's a little bit more scarce. But yeah, so this is the first appearance of Harley Quinn. This is like Batman Adventures number 12.
Yeah, I mean that's crazy expensive now.
Yeah, this is like easily like I would say like a $700 to $1,000 book.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So it's I paid $50 for it way back. Like, so I think it was around $50 that I paid.
That was a good investment.
Yeah, it was a good investment. I liked Harley Quinn. I liked the Batman series, so I picked it up. So that was this is his artwork on the cover. He did all those characters. Then he did. I gotta take it out of the plastic. So then he also did Batman Adventures Mad Love. I believe this is the origin of Harley Quinn. This is not considered continuity, but there's a later book that you have to get if you want continuity. And that's the one with her and the Joker on the cover. I'm not sure if you know that cover. I have it as well, but it's not, I didn't bring it down. So yeah, this is, I like his kind of Harley Quinn. He kind of makes her a little bit.
Pretty good, yeah.
The difference between Harley Quinn, the way Bruce Timm did her, and the modern Harley Quinn is it wasn't so gory. I find Harley Quinn now is a bit more brutal and violent, whereas Harley Quinn from the animated series was much more lighthearted and fun.
Yeah.
I kind of liked her better under Bruce Timm, but yeah, so it is what it is. Actually, if you're interested in Bruce Timm, because I really do like him and his good girl art. There's 2 books that I recommend you get. Both are kind of expensive and rare. There's this one called the Big Tease. This is like an art book. It's a fairly big. I'm just.
You got to find some pages you can show, Alan.
Okay, here. This page. Most pages are not age appropriate. So I know you're not old enough to see them. Okay, Mark. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm a bit innocent. Oh yeah. Okay.
So yeah. So it's like.
That.
Yeah. It's a really Oh well. I was going to show something and I realized. Whoops. I was going to censor the wrong half. So yeah. So some really great artwork. Just really classic good girl art. And he's a modern art. With sort of a modern.
When was that? When was that published, Alan?
When? Good question. I'm thinking like 2000 and something, but one sec. 2020.
Okay,
so it's pretty recent. That's a recent one. I got that for cover, so it was pretty good. This one that I'm going to show is his other collection, Naughty and Nice. This one is really hard to find. Like this brutal to find this one, and you're going to pay like usually anywhere from $300 to $500.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, but it's got like amazing art. Like, okay, I can show some of it. Like this is her, some just amazing artwork.
Yeah. I mean, his Harley Quinn is great.
Yeah, and like we got some Batgirl and Zatanna. And yeah, his Harley Quinn's like awesome. So this one is a little bit more, I can show it a bit. like I like his Batgirl, Catwoman as well.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, so he's got some really amazing stuff. So these two books, if you can find them, I think I truly recommend them. They, it's just pictures, it's picture books. But if you like his covers, it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Like a lot of this stuff, what he'll do is he'll do the cover art, and the interior has nothing to do with. It was interesting. We had a bit of technical difficulties. This is part 2 on the same video of my Bruce Timm. So what I was mentioning was, I was mentioning some of these art books that I definitely recommend. If they have really great cover art, some really great Harley Quinn and like Catwoman, and just really great book. Like, this is awesome. Awesome book to get. So some of his covers that he's done for other things, generally what he'll do is he'll do the cover, and then all the interior and all that kind of stuff is somebody else, different story. Just he gets the cover. He does the cover. He usually does the variant covers. He's done some variant covers for Spider-Man and Catwoman and a whole bunch of characters. One of the series that I think is really I read the series. It's not too bad. It's not like that great of a series, but it's, it features his cover art. Is this All Crime Comics? And it's, I really like this good girl detective noir kind of style. So it's I think it's some of Bruce Timm's, some of his nicest work. So here's another cover. This number 2. And like, this kind of reminds me of a little bit of The Spirit. I don't know why, but sort of Will Eisner feel to it.
Yeah, that one definitely has.
Yeah.
Who's the publisher?
Good question. It says Art of Fiction.
Okay.
That's the name of the company. So I wasn't super familiar with the publisher, but it's like indie comic, obviously. But they all have this kind of look to them where they look like beaten and worn, but it's just to get that kind of pulp pulp magazine kind of feel. Another one that I really like, and I like it for both the Bruce Timm cover, is Spicy Tales. This is like, this series is interesting because it features a character that I really like. I've sort of grown to really love this character, Sally the Sleuth, and she's a character from like the 1930s. Like, she was originally written in the spicy detective story pulp magazines. Okay, so these are like semi-adult magazines at the time, like pulp magazines. And it's really interesting. Like, I a lot more gory and violent than you would expect for that time period. Like, Sally the Sleuth is kind of this character that is kind of dressed like this all the time. It's just, so it's sort of like, for some reason she's a detective, yet she's wearing like a negligee, and like just getting into all sorts of trouble because she has no ability to fight or protect herself in any particular way. So she always ends up getting captured by the person that she's supposed to be like arresting, but she gets captured all the time, and then they like strip her clothes for some reason, and they like to whip her. I don't know why. A lot of whipping. So I just think it's so over the top that it's just such an interesting character from the 1930s. So these Spicy Tales really they kind of capture a lot of those old pulp stories. So they're quite interesting. But Bruce Timm did the cover for this one, which is number 11. The other ones in the series have like some other kind of good artists as well. Like I believe that Dave Stevens did a couple covers, and there's some really great covers for the Spicy Tales. I've been trying to get them all. I think I'm missing 1 or 2 issues. And then there was an anthology, and I'll show you some of the stuff. Like, this is the anthology. Spicy Tales collection. Okay, this is also a Bruce Timm cover, and it's a little bit more. I'm not sure if I should.
We might get into. We probably needed a bit of finger censoring.
Okay, there. Okay, so but it's see-through. It's not actually. She's still wearing clothes, so it's not that.
Okay.
I was debating. So okay, so that's debatable. Okay, so I'll show you what Sally the Sleuth looks like. Okay, and Sally the Sleuth is always like half naked, so it's like a little hard to find a good example of something I can show. But yeah, she's okay. So Sally the Sleuth. One sec here. Okay, so this is kind of her style. Like you got her like. So it's like kind of like, you know, she's like, I don't know why she's wearing like a hula thing with just the pants. You know, it's like, you know, it's like, I don't know. She's always half naked. It's kind of her style, and she's like a crime detective, right? And then look, she's always getting whipped. I don't know. It's like, it's pretty out there. Oh, whoops! I should have censored that. Okay, well, a little bit of finger censoring mishaps there. But definitely a series to check out, and it has Bruce Timm cover art. The Bruce Timm ones, as I said, anything Bruce Timm generally is like over $50, usually over $100 with his cover. This cover, I'm censoring it this time, is usually about $100 for this comic. I picked up both the Spicy Tale number 11 and this one for $100, just to give you a sense. And that was me like really like trying to find the best deal.
Yeah.
Really hard to get these ones. These are quite rare too. They didn't like produce that many of them. So, and you know, any like Bruce Timm collectors are like me. They don't sell their comics. They generally hold them. So it's really hard to get these ones. I'm a big fan of Bruce Timm. I kind of like that sort of seductive innocence. You know what I mean? Like it's sort of, it's very much the good girl art.
Yeah.
Right. Where it's like, you know, kind of cartoony. It looks very innocent, almost childlike, and then has that kind of bit of sexiness going on too. If you look at the Naughty or Nice portfolio thing, you'll definitely see a lot more adult version of these characters, especially which, you know, if you like a lot of your, you know, Harley Quinn and Catwoman to be a little bit more adult, then you'll definitely like those art books. So they're quite good. I think they're great. So that's my character or my artist that I brought. I hope this records well. It, you know, kind of works. Definitely recommend checking out Bruce Timm stuff. There's not that much of it. It's pretty rare. There's not that many different covers. I'm thinking you can. I think the entire collection may be under 30.
Really?
In terms of the number of covers that he's done.
Right. I mean, one of my favorite Bruce, the way I knew him was through.
Except for the Batman Adventures. I think he did all the covers there. So that's the different series.
Yeah. He did a fantastic Mary Jane, I think, on Amazing Spider-Man 55, I want to say.
Yeah, so that's the one I thought I had. Remember before we recorded this video, I'm like, I thought I had this, like, and I'm positive I had that book, that Amazing Spider-Man 55. I think it's 55 or 54. It's like in that era.
Yeah. It's a great cover.
I can't find it. It's a great cover. She's like kind of doing the disco.
I'll put I've got it. I'll do a scan and I'll put a copy up on the screen.
How about you just send me your copy? I think that's maybe. That's a great I really like that one. I thought I had it. I'm like, I was searching through all my boxes and I'm like, I know I have that comic because I was going to bring it for this show and I can't find it. I don't know. I think maybe it's one of those memories where you just see it all the time and then you think you've bought it, but you didn't buy it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm going to be searching.
I've had that happen to me as well. When I'm convinced I've got that comic because the image is in my head.
Yeah.
And I think I own it. And then I go to find it and it's not there.
It's just like Action Comics #1. I positive I own that. And I owned that like in a 9.6 or something. And I don't know where it is. I just
Where's my £1 million that I actually
So yeah, I don't know. But okay, so thanks for having me on your channel. And we're gonna do artists again next week, right?
Yeah,
because I have another great one that I'd like to show.
Yeah,
so
let's do artists again next week.
And then we're gonna get into Christmas themed stuff. I'm always.
No. I think right. I think I have got the first ever cover appearance of Santa in a
I bet you don't.
I think you've probably got the first Santa in comics, but I think I've got the first Santa in a Marvel comic.
Oh, in a Marvel comic.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that extra little thing makes it different.
I think you've got it as well, because I think you showed it, and it's got another first appearance in it as well. And I went to bought it because you showed it.
Okay, probably. I have a bunch of Santa related comics.
Yes.
I actually did some research because somebody commented on my Santa thing, because I thought I had the first one in comics. And then it turns out that there's an older one that's in comics. So the one that I have is the first Golden Age, and then there's a Platinum Age Santa that's even older. And then I found out that's not even the first Santa, that there's one from 1915.
Okay, yeah.
So it's like, wow, okay, yeah, and super rare, and it's like, tens of thousands of dollars. So yeah, I haven't found that one yet. So
yeah, because there was a bit of spec around this, because I think it was Feige who said there was going to be a huge special guest, probably the biggest superhero of them all, and one of the comic channels speculated it was going to be Santa.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, I think that was Comic Tom that actually talked about that. I think that's maybe why I picked up that Marvel one.
Right, okay, but and then the comic that's actually they picked up on as being the first appearance of Santa, he isn't on the cover. And the one that you had mentioned, and it wasn't because of the Santa on the cover, the one you mentioned was another character's first appearance. And it's only a month or two after the one that's got all the spike, and it's got Santa on the cover. So, and I don't think anybody's picked up on this yet. So I think it's the first Marvel comic with Santa on the cover, and it's the What the Christmas Special. Do you remember this one? And it's got
it's got it somewhere.
And is it Bart Simpson's first comic appearance?
That's Bart Simpson's first appearance.
And I think that is the first appearance of Santa on a Marvel comic cover.
I don't know. I'm trying to think. Like I can think of DC ones like that are way earlier.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of Marvel covers. Maybe. But that's 80s. You'd think there would be something older.
Yeah, I would have thought so as well. But the one they picked up on, because I checked the date of that the one that went off, it was a Christmas special one, and I think I think it was 80s sometime. And I thought,
I tried to pick it up after that. I'm not sure.
I thought I went and checked that to see whether that was actually, and it was the one they talked about came out in December, and the What the one with Santa on came out a month later. So so I think it must be the first.
So it was very close.
Very close. Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check that out. So so that'll be part of our Santa thing. We'll have to do.
Yeah, but I can't do 4 weeks of Christmas. I will run it. I've got
no. I got like maybe one episode of Christmas related. I'm actually going to be gone during the Christmas holidays. Okay. I'm going to be scheduling my videos. So, I'll be.
Are you down to Florida?
Yeah, I go down to Florida for a week.
Yeah.
So if viewers watching this are in Sarasota area and they want to meet up and they want to give me Christmas presents, I'm all for it.
Okay, right. So excellent. Thank you very much, Alan. I apologize for the slight technical hitch. I think Zoom cut me off because I don't pay, and up to now they never have cut me off, so I might have to look at paying them something. Right. Okay. So see you next week, Alan. We're going to do artists again, and to all the viewers, see you next week. Enough said.